last Friday, when they went to Family Dollar, they blew 4.5 company hours sitting in the fucking truck.
That one day they blew 4.
One day, dude. Let me show you this. I'm going to share my screen for a second. I'll show you this one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Let me just find that email. Friday, 7-11. From the first job. They arrived at 8:11. They didn't start until 8:15. That's when Necky clocked in. They blew 8 company minutes. St. Jacques, they ended at 8:32. They left at 8:35. According to GPS, they blew 6 more minutes. Now, this happens at every job, every day. Then a read, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Restroom? Probably not. Looks like Family Dollar, 5:06 to 5:14. 9 minutes times 2 guys is 18 minutes. Warwick Avenue. And then it just continues from there, man. Last job, they arrived at 7:41 p.m. They didn't clock until 7:45. They blew 8 minutes. They ended at 8:17. They didn't leave until 8:20 something. 3 more minutes. Every job, dude. So here's what I did about it. And we got to tell them right away. I'm like, all right, yeah, we can do that now that we have this data. But today at the meeting, Randy, what do you do the second you clock into a job in front of everybody? I get there and I clock into the job. The second you put it in park, he says I take a picture, I clock in, and I write it down. Randy, how long does that take you? Less than 30 seconds. Nacho's already out of the truck, weed whacking. Randy, what do you do the second you're about to pull away from the job? I clock out of the job. And then I said, Randy, what do you do after that? He says, I move on to the next job. And I looked over at Necky and I could see his gears were turning, right? And I did this, like I just drew it out for a good 5 minutes. So I drilled into the guys what they're supposed to be doing, and I was trying to see Necky's reaction. So now I have Anthony tailing them today to see if they're actually sitting in the truck, so we have further evidence. So tomorrow,
of course they're not going to do it. Oh, does Anthony? Do they know that Anthony's tailing them? Because if
no,
they do,
of course not. No.
Okay.
It's all in secret. So tomorrow, my plan is this: I'm going to confront Necky and Josh on it, and depending on their reaction, is going to determine whether or not they have a job here. And then, either way, without warning, I'm going to mix up the crew. Randy's mowing alone. Necky's going to be with somebody else, and Josh is going to be with somebody like Oswaldo, who fucking hauls ass. So they're getting split up either way. And they're uncle and nephew, and if they don't like it, dude, they can find another fucking job.
Yeah. I mean, we're wait. It's been like 2 months probably of low charge rates. And it's just been...
So look, lastly, before we move on or whatever, 4.5 hours spent in one day. 1 hour, 44 minutes this day they fucking wasted.
And they're over budget by, last week they're over budget by 10 hours.
Here it is, 2 hours and 50 minutes on Tuesday, 7/8. They fucking pissed away. 1 hour, 45 minutes on Monday the 7th. Adds up. Yeah. Fuckers.
Good.
Dude.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of it. It needed to be addressed because there's we should just have a policy that they and we talked about it. It should probably be new crew. Okay, there's some leniency. Obviously, they're learning, but at some point, there's got to be a line drawn that if you're not performing after this date, I don't care if you can't figure out how to weed whack or you're slow or you don't have the skill set. At some point, it's just not working out. And we get nitty gritty. Are they sitting at the job? Are they just slow at weed whacking? Are they not competent? But at some point, we try to train them, we try to fix it. And if it's not working out for any reason, it's not working out. It makes you angry if they're sitting in the truck because that's just deliberate. It's not. It's deliberate. But even if they're underperforming because they're incompetent, then they got to go too. So either way, they got to go.
Yeah, they're underperforming. I said to Am, what do they do to stores that underperform? He said they close them. I said exactly.
Yep. Yeah, you got to address it. So.
Yep. So it's going to be started tomorrow, and I'm curious to see what their reaction is, and I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and what were we going to say? So you decided to make Randy the one-man crew. Why that decision?
Because we know Randy hauls ass. He does the best work, and he's the most capable, I think, of doing a route by himself. And plus, he enjoys it. And he's going to get a charge rate through the roof. And since we're down guys, and Jose's being laid off, we can afford to do this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just it's diversification, right? We could do only fertilizing, right, or only projects, do all the high juicy rate stuff, or get only H2Bs who get higher rates than everyone else. But then you're all in one bucket. It's being all in a technology stock. You can win a lot, but also if shit hits the fan, then you're completely fucked. Whereas if we make the same thing with these crews, if we have a one-man crew, yeah, they're going to overperform, they're going to get really good rates. But then if you lose that guy, you don't have any coverage, and we also don't have him when work picks up again. We don't have that guy. But if we mix it up and we have a one-man crew, a couple two-man crews, now we're kind of mixing up the performance with we get the advantage of the performance, but we don't get the downside either. Just like mixing up the H2Bs with local guys, right? Like we're not completely shot if that part of our portfolio fails, right? We still have the consistent lower performing stock, basically, right? Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we're addressing it. We need to address it, and it's the time of year where we have time to address it, right? And like I said, these guys everyone should be crushing budget hours, because right now things go really slow. They were going over budget during the springtime, and we were letting it go. We're still even bonusing them based off of that, but that means that this time of year, honestly, there should be zero leniency to meeting budget hours. Really, if they're meeting budget hours, they're going over budget, because it's all averaged for each mow. But the average mow this time of year is not going to be the average mow. It should take like 2/3 the time of the average mow. You know what I'm saying? So they should all be crushing their budget hours, not like definitely not exceeding. They should all be far beating their budget hours.
I said they're inflated. They're averages of the whole year or whatever, a slice, and you guys have more than enough time. I drove this into them, man, dozens and dozens of times. If somebody by now doesn't get it,
to be bonused, we don't need to do it, but we should probably, to be fair to ourselves, we were fair to them in the springtime, to be fair to ourselves, they should have to exceed their budget by like 5 hours or something. I don't know what bar to set there, but they should have to exceed their budget hours this time of year, not just meet them. Because if they're meeting them, they're actually going over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. All right, so we jumped right into Maroon Crew. Glad we figured that out. How did the job go? You did that this weekend. You did the that charity job, right?
Check this out. I was checking out her daughter. Probably should. You guys all did an amazing job. You're an amazing company. 132 likes and loves and what have you. Most popular, most engagement we ever got from a post. Jared's going to produce a full documentary. So I feel like we should hit it out of the park. And him and I have a meeting today, and we're going to put together a really, really good video for the project. But here's how it works.
Probably, and yeah, all of our customers. Well, first of all, I'm really happy that, like, I know your father had cancer, and this was a way to kind of like give back on a personal level, right? So I think it's great that you're able, like, through the business, you're able to kind of accomplish something, a personal thing. That's great. We should make everyone should be aware. We should broadcast this. We should probably email our customers about it. And it just kind of got me thinking, we should let our customers, like, make them part of it. Be like, if we do these charity jobs, we should, like, have a survey or let them, like, submit a good cause, right? And then we can pick one. This was kind of your pick, obviously, but we can involve everyone in this and, like, make it a whole community thing. That hey, this we voted, we thought this was the best cause, like, involve everyone in that decision so everyone feels like they're part of it. Everyone can feel good about it.
That's so cool. And people be like, oh, my grandmother or whatever, going through a tough time, or friend, and we pick them. That sounds awesome. I don't know how many times a year we want to do that, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, but I mean, at least one a year we should do.
Okay.
We did your daughter's school last year, right?
Yeah, we still maintain that, and the idea there is put up a sign and get a presence. That's small potatoes compared to a 24-hour project.
We could get, like, a yard sign made too, like a special yard sign. It's like, charity job by 855 RI Lawns or something that they could stick in their yard for the year. Just a thought.
That sounds great.
Again, we're doing it. I'm just taking notes. Yard sign.
Yeah, good stuff.
If we're doing it, we should broadcast it. We can do good and get something back out of it too.
I think an annual raffle, so to speak, for a charitable cleanup.
Time of year, right? We're slow. We're slower this time of year. We have the time. So it helps us keep the guys busy, and also it helps us give back. We have the time to, like, focus on it, right?
Totally, and you get tons of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Great idea, man. I love it.
Cool. Man. All right, let me run through my list here. Oh, so Noah is done, right?
Noah's done.
So, and I know we're looking. What's our plan right now for how are we getting by in the meantime?
Equipment's in really good shape. That list let Anthony and I know in detail what's going on with each machine. Everything's in good shape right now. We have a plan to get fixed what needs to be fixed. Zach's going to take care of that. Zach can take care of little things. Noah's confident that he can do things. We know he's limited. We just have to give him jobs that we're confident he can accomplish. For everything else, we can send out. I have an interview today with a guy named Mark. He knows how to fix shit. He sounds really professional. He put I pay attention to detail on his resume. But he had car issue on Friday. We were supposed to meet with him Friday. He did text me like well beforehand. He said he was having a car problem on Friday. So we rescheduled for today, and he seems promising. I'm sure he's capable of handling an app. He seems like a company-minded guy just by our conversation. So that's promising. But as far as like acquiring applicants, haven't really gone like full bore on that. Sent out an email to recent applicants, postings on social media. Maybe send an email to clients, say, hey, do you know any mechanics? But I feel like we're gonna have to raise the pay wage maybe to like 27, 28, and then we can work out a bonus system. But either way, we just need to advertise for it a little more.
I mean, pre-COVID, when I researched, the going rate was like 25, but that was pre-COVID. You know, we should figure out if we really want to be competitive. We should figure out what, like, because people are mechanics that go to mechanic shops, right, like an auto repair shop and stuff like that. So we should find out what they're paying, because otherwise they're going to go there, right?
I think that's a bit different. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like an auto mechanic in an auto shop, like a reputable one, would probably make more money than a landscape company mechanic. Am I wrong in that, or what do you think?
No, I think you're right. I mean, it's really a small engine mechanic. I mean, but they do have more skills. They're more well-rounded. It really depends on the people are looking for. They probably have more regular hours, like in terms of they work 9 to 5 or whatever at an auto repair shop versus us. You know, our stuff's not available during the day, so it's the hours are a little different. Which, by the way, if we haven't already, we know exactly what we need for the mechanic now. So I don't know if the hours are updated, the work hours and stuff are updated on the job ad, but we should probably just review the job ad to make sure that the expectations are set properly. So we're tracking where people are off the bat. Because I think it was kind of loosey-goosey when Noah started for the hours, but we should clarify the expectations there. Because we try to switch them on, it's not going to work.
Right.
So... Okay, so yeah, I mean, so good news is we'll save money in the short term, right? We're not paying the mechanic, but we're really just taking like essentially equity out of because we're gonna get behind, and then we're gonna play the catch-up thing in the winter like we always do in equipment. So we're basically we're saving money in the short term, but in the long term, it's gonna catch up to us at a minimum, and maybe even some deferred maintenance expenses, and maybe the expenses will end up being higher if we're not maintaining it as well, which I'm sure is going to happen. So hopefully we don't get too far behind, before we get a new guy in there. How are we going to track? So we need to just take into account that Zach's doing some mechanic work. So Arij will have to. I'm sure she will anyway, but she's going to have to differentiate that on the weekly audit. So that's reflected in our rates and everything.
I think Zach has jobs assigned to him. It's pretty obvious what his unbillable stuff is versus his billable. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, she should be able to easily see what he's working on. Like today, he's got just some shop stuff, all non-billable.
One thing on Noah's email regarding the vacuums. Are we going to be good for vacuums? Because I was looking at that list and we got like 2, and then we got the shitty backup, right?
No, we have 3. We have 2 Skags. One is new from last year. One is 3 years old, and we have the Giant Vac. All 3 of those run great. The Freighton is our backup to sell or use, and that runs good too, he said. So we have 4
so we do have a backup. So we shouldn't need, because I just don't want to end up in the position where, ideally, because the Freighton's like a piece of crap, so it'd be nice if we had a good backup Skag. If we can slide by this year, we've already bought so much stuff. Seems like every year we're buying so much stuff. And we didn't plan on buying it. It'd be good to get by without it, but we also don't want to end up. I mean, the way it usually ends up is that like a vacuum breaks, we're down a vacuum, and then we have to scramble and buy one last minute, right? That's usually the way it works. So I'm just trying to avoid that scramble.
We have 4 that work. I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yep.
How's the fuel in the trucks going?
Awesome, dude.
I'm so glad we did that.
I know. It's like, it's a no-brainer. So, I told the guys the story. We were looking for months and months, and this Fuel Genie guy appeared somewhere in April, right? And this time around, we found him. But like, think of all the hours we're saving, man. Twice a week or 3 times a week, you're sending 5 or 6 foremen to the gas station, half an hour, 45 minutes. I can only imagine at the end of the year how many hours they spend driving back and forth to the fucking gas station. This guy comes.
The wear and tear on these trucks. You're driving a $100,000 truck twice a week to the gas station and back.
It's complete waste.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that we did. I was definitely pushing. I wouldn't let go on that. I was like, no, like I wasn't going to take no for an answer, and it worked out. And these people like just came into business too. These Fuel Genie. I'm a little concerned about what they're charging, not for our cost because it's just so cheap. It just doesn't seem they're getting $64, and I know they're a new company, and they're probably they're either going to go out of business or they're going to realize it's not enough. I think at some point because it just doesn't seem. I don't know how that'd be profitable driving a. I mean, they're probably getting bulk rates on fuel. Maybe they make a couple bucks on the fuel prices too, but the fuel prices are cheaper. Like it was $3.03 per gallon they charged us, and I threw it in ChatGPT. We're saving 11 cents a gallon too. So we saved $12 just on the fuel itself, and then we have 64 service fees. So it's actually going to cost us $50 to have this guy come. There's no way in hell that it's costing us more than that to drive those guys to the gas station.
That big truck, paying somebody an hour to drive down here. No way.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's no way they have like it's not like they're fueling every truck in the neighborhood, So anyway, for now, whatever. Hopefully they stay in business, or we probably expect the price to go up. I don't know how that's sustainable at all. Sure. But anyway, in the meantime, it's working out. The other thing is too, I'm just trying not to tell you about it too much until it's like a sure thing, but I'm still working on that place across the street, and I got like the first step was getting like a certified letter from the zoning guy in Exeter to make sure we could run the business there. But if we run the business there, we can get our own fuel tanks to wherever we want. So that'd be great. But as it gets close, I'll let you know. It's across from, I think it's the Homestead restaurant on Route 2. So it's like right where we work anyway. We're on Route 2. It's right by Diversified and everything. It's got the 2-bed, 1-bath house. They only need 10% down because it's a SBA loan. It's got a huge property. It also has a big garage, and it has like an unenclosed like outdoor area, like almost like a big patio that we could just close off and make that into an office. So anyway, as it becomes more of a possibility, then we can go over there and look at it and stuff. The guy hasn't even officially taken an offer. It's not listed on the market, but he wants to sell it. So it'd be kind of like it's an off-market type of deal. But I'll keep you in the loop on that as that develops more. But it just got me thinking more because now I know that is a possibility.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, the fuel in the trucks is working out great. That's awesome. And then I added, just in the winter, we'll add it to their checklist if we keep doing this, to leave their tanks outside on their timesheets.
Yep. It's working out great.
What do we need from now while we're talking about this? Oh yeah, the Facebook listing, stuff for sale. Yeah, I don't know. That Walker, I didn't want to. It's like I've heard it going back and forth with Noah on it so many times. We want to sell it. I think it'll sell. I think there's stuff. If you look on the marketplace for walkers, comparable, like the thing's got like 1,200 hours or something like that. It's a 2017. You look on Facebook Marketplace, what we have it listed for is in the same ballpark as everyone else. But what I found in general, selling stuff, no matter what it's listed for, you still get offers. You start to realize you have it listed for $8,000, I don't even know what it's listed for, and you get an offer for $6,000, and you say no. And then you get an offer for $65,000, you say no. Then maybe you get an offer for $62,000, and you take it. But people generally will make offers regardless of what something's listed for. But if we list it low, we're guaranteed to get less. And we're not going to get the top dollar. But people generally make offers anyway. We can even list it as best offer.
I think we need to find the point where people start making offers, right? So where is that? 8,000? 7,000?
we were getting offers. I'd have to look back in my text. If we don't want to text Noah about it, Noah would probably know right offhand what people were offering. But I know we did have some offers.
Maybe base it off that, man.
We had one in the spring that in hindsight, I probably should have let it go, but I want to see if we can get more. But now maybe if someone offers that same thing, we'll sell it for that. I'd have to look back and see, or text Noah and ask him what offer we got.
Okay.
But it's also, the walker's good for bagging leaves, so we may still get people looking.
In the fall.
I mean, mowers will sell all year, really. More in the spring, but they'll sell all year because people's mowers break down mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
So we got all these contacts. That was great. Noah put that together on his own. That was great.
I know.
What's he gonna do in the freaking winter? He's
gonna work with us. If we have an opening, he's gonna work with us.
Okay.
I'm not feeling overly confident about finding a great mechanic. That's just a feeling I have. Maybe I'm just being negative. But I'm just not. If this guy today works out, he may be good. But in 20 years, how many great mechanics have you had?
Not a lot.
We have
the same company, right? We have good local guys too. We're kind of a different company these days too. So we might, people. That's because I was trying to hire someone to bring in the garage, like when Noah started, a complete shithole because Aiden was in there. Everything's complete mess. Like, you're going to attract people who work in those environments. If you have a bunch of deadbeats working for you, terrible culture, everything's a mess. If you are that type of guy like Noah, you're not going to want to work with that environment. But if you come into a place, like you go to like a BMW dealership or something, like everything's tidy, everything that you're going to attract people who want to work in that environment, have their shit together. So as their shit together, you bring them, you show them the garage, you're like, oh, here's complete shithole, like want the job. Like they don't want to work in that environment,
I agree. We're attracting better applicants too, right?
We should probably if Zach's the interim mechanic, we should probably put it on him to keep everything should look. We know how it looks. Noah just left it. We don't want it to go back to what it was. And and it's way easier to be like, this is how it is. Everything's in its place and stay on top of it rather than letting it get back the way it was. So we should really have one person. It sounds like it should probably be Zach. That's like, you need to keep, this is yours for now. This is your responsibility. You need to keep this place in the shape it's in now, right? And hold them accountable for it because we don't want it to go back to the spot.
Yep.
It's way easier if we just stay on top of it now than just letting it go to shit and dealing with it later.
Agreed.
All right, we talked about all this stuff, I think, the shovels, etc., yada, yada. Okay, this is just some stuff I copied and pasted from your email. So long time to sack by milkers not hitting the charge rate. 30 hours of drive time, that's insane. We should look at this. Yeah, and this was, I was looking at Green Crew. Yeah, so like our routes were more spread out, right? And we can look at this, more routes. We already are. And I've been bringing this to attention. Another thing that should have been done on a monthly basis, but has not been. I just suggested to Arij, I think we should do on our monthly as well as once a month we plug in numbers, right? I think that's also when we should take a look at the off route and under price. It should just be a monthly routine thing that's completed for us in the spreadsheet. Sure. And then we review that and stay on top of it. And it's, and so the idea is here, we're going to give, just like the guys' performance in the jobs, there's a little bit of leeway there. We have an account that's in East your bumfuck. All right, let's lose money on it for up to 3 months, and we're going to, by the same token, we're going to put, we have to, if we're going to do that job at a loss, we have to be putting effort into filling that area because we're not just going to do it for a loss and just cross our fingers. We need to be putting out yard signs, door hangers, actively marking, trying to fill that area. And at some point, we're not successful, then we drop it, and we need to. But so each month we'll see the same account. I told Arij to somehow notate it in that spreadsheet. So we have to see. All right, this account here. It's third month. We haven't filled in. Still off route. Let's drop them. Right. So yeah, we spread our routes. Right. If we're not building density, we just need to cut it. It's just not a market where we're going to pick up accounts. But maybe we'll look at that again next week, just because we have a lot of stuff to cover this week.
Okay. Yeah, good call. But that's a lot of driving.
It is. Silver Crew is that's Kevin doing the gardening, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of stuff mixed in there. He's doing different types of work each week when we check, which is bringing the rate up and down, fluctuating a little bit. He's not doing the same type of work.
He does some project rate work, but it's usually between 105 and 110. I don't see him doing. And if you look at his dispatch, there's really not much else going on outside of that.
If there's two people I trust to be not sitting in the truck and doing things that they're supposed to, it's Kevin and Kevin and Randy. Yeah. So I trust that Kevin's doing as he's supposed to, and it's something, and I think it's the different jobs mixed in there. It's probably that driving a lot of drive time mixed in there.
Yeah, he does have some routes that are more spread out. Gardening is not as dense as I like it. So yeah, there's days where he has to drive a bit more. Like today he's going to Riverside and Barrington, I think, but he's got to do Cranston and Warwick. So there's like a 20-minute drive between them. Certainly.
Yeah. I don't know how long we're at this, and this is about Maroon Crew. We finally nailed it down what's going on there, but what do you think is a reasonable amount of time that we should just draw? Yeah, we're going to try to help them, right? Like, we know there's a problem right away. Like, this crew has underperformed, 3 weeks in a row, right? Then we're going to try to fix them. Like, you did that. All right, let's try to teach them how to weed whack. And then but then it dragged out for another month after that. It's like, we should just set a line, just cut in stone that without excuses that, all right, this is I just keep saying 3 months just off the top of my head, which is probably even too long. I mean, if someone's completely green and they've never cut or weed whacked in their life, maybe 3 months, but there's got to be a line where we've tried to fix it and we didn't, it's done. And just draw a line there.
How can Necky and Josh, I agree there's a line, right? So Anthony tailed them this morning and he said that they were in and out of the truck at their first job in less than a minute. So either what I said this morning got to them and they talked about it, or today it was just a fluke. I don't know, but there is a line, and it's very quick, dude. It's only about 30 seconds or less than a minute to get out of the truck, and that's the line. Yeah, simple.
No, but I meant like their performance. Like we dug way nitty gritty. We're analyzing everything, but my point is just look at big picture, simple decision. Like, who knows where we don't have to dig and research and figure out exactly why. Just like we try to train them, they're still not hitting their rates. Either they're too slow or they're unskilled. They're not picking up the skill by a certain date, or they're just wasting time. Whatever reason, they're not hitting the rate. I don't really care. They're not hitting their rate. We tried to train them. It's not working out. There's just got to be a hard line where we say if a crew's not hitting their rates and they're underperforming, and we've tried to help them, then at some point we're done, right? No, we don't need to dig into the nuts and bolts of why they're not doing it. They're just not, If they're sitting in the truck or they're too slow because they're unskilled and they're not picking it up, or they're out of shape, whatever the reason may be, they're just not hitting the rates. We don't really need to dig that deep, is my point.
I think this is a data collection issue. We weren't cross-referencing their GPS with their clock and clock out times. And if somebody was and notified us, this could have been fixed probably about a month ago, right? So it is kind of like getting granular in a bit, a little bit, because it takes Lewis to dig in and compare their GPS times to their timesheets to find that.
Yeah, but I'm saying you found the cause, which is essentially stealing time, right?
Correct.
Like you found the cause. My point is that we don't even need to determine that, because if they weren't stealing time, they're not hitting that rate. That just means that after 2 or 3 months, they haven't figured out a way. They're not competent. It's either they're not competent or they're
blatantly stealing company time and money.
But either way, does it really matter?
That's right. No, they're underperforming either way. But as a business owner, don't you want to know the reason why?
I mean, I guess it's nice to know, because then you can be angry about it. But other than that, they're losing their job anyway. So does it really matter? They're gone. Problem solved.
I think this can be fixed, and you do that by making some changes. And if they don't like it, obviously they're not on board. They can leave. But I'm not in a position to fire Necky and Josh for this yet.
Yeah.
Based on their reaction, I think maybe with that talk today, it got to them because Ant saw them get out of the truck in less than a minute. And again, based on their reaction, determines the future. But I think just shaking them up would solve the problem.
Okay.
And pointing it out to them, obviously, right?
Say it again.
And pointing it out to them, obviously, right, to get their reaction, to see what they say.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, has that been addressed, or should I send out an email with Lewis and Arij and you and figure out why that wasn't detected, or has that been addressed already?
It's very simple. I would let Arij and Lewis know that he should be looking for discrepancies between their timesheet or clock out times and clock in times versus their GPS. That's a red flag. No other crew's doing it, so it should be easily identifiable.
So a follow-up needs to be sent on that.
Yeah, totally. And if nothing, hey, great. No need to let us know. But if there are discrepancies, he needs to let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like it shouldn't be like that's was always concerning for me. Everything in the company, when I find something once, that means it's happening more than once. If I just out of the blue we just discover something, like I mean that's not the only mistake they made. It's not the only thing that was missed. It was missed many times, right? If we catch it once, it means that's most likely, very high likelihood it's happened more than once, and that's concerning. That catches my
So I sent
attention.
an email back. Yeah, so I sent an email back. I said, now I need an audit of all accounts, of all routes, of all crews. Sorry,
Mhm.
and I put all in
Yeah.
capitals. I said, don't make me remind for it. I need it by Wednesday. So Lewis is going to
Yeah.
audit or look at a cross section of all the crews and find any other discrepancies.
Okay. Good. All right.
Yeah.
One last thing before we jump into the numbers. Gardening page is like pretty bad.
Yeah.
I guess when we redid this website, we didn't look at each page, but like it's just not good. I mean, this is not. It's just not good. I don't know how else to say it. But
I agree.
even at the bottom here, it talks about like driveways, installing driveways on the gardening page, which makes no sense. I think that maybe Rob just didn't know where to put this information. We just stuck it here, but that makes no sense. But if this is like our landing page to book jobs, it's just not good. It doesn't even have like the contact form on this page, like the request and estimate and stuff.
Terrible. Gardening's something I want to grow, man, and this page won't grow it.
Yeah, it's not a good page. So on the other hand, too, and I'm catching up. We should have the July numbers, or well, sorry, we'll have the June numbers by the end of July. For the budget and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we're definitely either going over on marketing or we're getting really close. But again, like I don't have the information, but I think that's probably where we're headed. So Jonathan asked if we want to keep the budget the same on AdWords, and I'm thinking I told him we do, but I'll talk to you about it. But we need to know where we're at in the gardening budget, basically. Excuse me, the marketing budget.
So
Yeah.
what, at what point is paying for ads useless? Like do we drop the price down where it's going to be costing us money, where it's not worthwhile, or are we spending too much? Can we drop it down $10-$20 a day?
Oh, you're asking about sorry, what are you asking?
The ad spend. I'm just saying, like, so the more money you spend on ads, the more clicks you get, the more conversions you'll likely get, right? That's the point. So what if we drop our ad spend to a point where we can still get clicks, where it's just not a waste of money? I don't know ads like you do, but
I've been staying on top of him like flies on shit, just trying to make sure we're not paying for junk. Like you see each week, I'm going through and reviewing his report and stuff. Every week we're still paying for junk, even though I feel like I'm telling him the same things and they're still showing up in searches. So you can see here like our $40 per lead essentially is what we're paying, the lead that comes through. And also, and that's higher than it's been. This is, what is this, 7th to 20th. This is the most recent data. We could look at a bigger time frame, but we're paying a little less. Like they're more expensive this time of year because people are kind of window shopping more. So people are clicking but not buying, right? In the spring, it's going to be cheaper. But essentially, we're paying $40 per lead converted. That being said, we probably would still get just organically from our SEO stuff. People are going to find us anyway for like lawn care RI. And I'm pretty sure that I told him, see, this is another one. I'm pretty sure I told him we don't need to be paying for this because we show up number one organically. So we're paying for the search when probably we'd get that traffic without paying for it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times I would turn it off this time of year just because, trying to save a couple bucks and not much is coming in anyway. But I think our budget's only like $250 now anyway, $250 a week. We're not spending a whole lot, but
okay. Is it worth dropping it to two, say $50?
What difference is that really going to make?
Okay.
I mean, I guess everything adds up, but that's $200 a month. It's going to add up to like $1,000 the rest of the year.
Okay.
Hardly worth sending, A lot of these competitors, and these are impossible to completely eliminate these competitor searches because people just keep searching for new shit. So you can block out Green Solutions, Johnston, and then someone's going to search for some other random company, and we're going to show up again. But what I have looked into this in the past, these competitor searches, and they do convert. Like we do get look, Green Solutions. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is clicks, not conversions. Is this report showing us conversions? Clicks, because what we care about is conversion. Because this is what we're paying for. We want to know what's converting. It's not even showing what's converting on here.
These are clicks to our website, correct?
Yeah, this is the searches we're paying for. They're usually like $5 a click or something. So we're paying, landscapers, Cranston, Rhode Island, great. We'll pay for that. But Green Solutions Johnson, a lot of times they're looking for that company's phone number, and sometimes they do end up contacting us anyway. Like that's a strategy with AdWords that people will, they'll search for a different company and they find us and they either don't know the difference, or they're just like, whatever, I can't find them. I'll contact these guys. Sure. These guys look good.
It lures them in.
What's that?
It lures them in.
It does. And so they do convert. I don't know. I think they end up being a higher cost per lead than other types of searches, but it's also near impossible to get rid of all of them, unless we do, because he probably has a broad search. Like, so basically Google will know that these people are looking for landscapers, whereas we could do just an exact phrase search, which would mean that it wouldn't show up, and it only shows up for stuff that we specify. So like right now it's set up that it will show up for just things that Google determines is a relevant search term. But you can set it so it's only you get less leads, but they're cheaper because they're exact searches. You know what I'm saying? So like you're specifying, I want to show up for landscapers, Cranston, Rhode Island. And you're not going to get, if you do that, you're going to show up for landscapers, Cranston, Rhode Island. You're specifying what searches you're paying for, but you might not show up for landscapers, North Kingstown, Rhode Island. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't specify that. So you have to specify every single term, which is near impossible to know single thing people are going to search for.
Right.
So it's like more efficient. It's more efficient to do exact phrase, but you're going to get less leads, but you get them cheaper per lead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, let me think on that then. But we really want to know where we're at in the marketing budget overall, so we can see where we're landing here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So there's that, and this came in my email today. It's kind of obnoxious. I'm going to look into it in the winter, but Rosie AI, now Ring Central has their own. That's finally launched. I applied for like a beta, but now it's like a live thing. So it's only $39 instead of $99.
Right.
I don't know if this is apples to apples, but using one platform probably easier than Rosie and Ring Central.
Good to know. Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, which is annoying because we have to set up a different one. But I'll look into it.
Great.
All right, so
numbers.
Weekly audit. Materials. What have we been renting, by the way?
We rented a stump grinder.
Okay, that's fine because the customer would have paid for it, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this month we've been trending low, right? Our hours are significantly lower, but our charge rate's been higher. This has been a theme this month, or the past, I'd say about the past 4 calls. We've had a higher charge rate, but lower hours. The margin's short again, a few grand. So I'd say overall for July, so I looked to see where we're landing just to kind of, here's July. We only have two weeks listed in here. But our average rate is higher and our hours are 787 so far. However, our goal for the month is 787, 2,200.
I think we overshot the hours when we put this together.
Probably.
Yep. Because we had how many guys working how many hours?
The notes, I think I just copied what was here. Let's see, I have the notes. 9 local guys and 4 H2Bs, and it must be, let's see the equation here. 13 guys, 42 hours a week. That's what this one was. So 42 hours a week with 13 guys. And here, so this must be the same. And this is just slightly lower. So I didn't have 13 guys, 40 hours.
Yeah, we knew there'd be less overtime.
Yeah, but I think we referenced last year too. We must have when putting this together because we dropped it a little bit.
Last year we did a bunch of extra work for less money or the same money. Remember that?
Yep.
So we overworked last year and we based our numbers off that.
Yeah. Well, we still, and I also was thinking too. I mean, if we look at how far we are in the year, we're week number 43%. We're halfway through the year, right? this audit. So we're half the year in front of us. We're not going to be paying all the return to work bonuses. We're not going to be buying all the equipment. So we're not going to have also we're halfway through the entire year, which includes January and February, which didn't work at all. Right. So we're not really halfway through the year, our production year. We're halfway through the fiscal year, but not halfway through our production. You know what I'm saying? So we have more hours in front of us than we do behind us. So we have a lot of room to still make up for July. Where are we over here?
I was thinking that too. We're going to get a ton of projects in the fall, late August, September, plus area shows.
These are our juicy months, right? Outside of the spring, the mows are taking. Oh, also we should be getting better rates on our mows, right? Because the spring everything's growing so fast. So our most juicy months are yet to come. I'm really excited for that billboard. I just think it makes us, even if we don't get any leads from it directly, like it makes us look super legit. We got a billboard on Route 1.
Same, man.
So just the overall impression of the company it's gonna be positive.
We talked about that, Nico and I. He asked about branding and culture, and he's sort of like crossing the lines between the two. And I told him that two different things. Branding is what people see externally, and culture is internally. But yeah, branding, man, right? It's super important, and we branded this company so good in the last 3 years. It's come such a long way.
Yep.
That billboard is going to be the icing on the cake.
Yep. So aiming forward, like next month, our goal is only 59, and we've been beating the rate. We've been at 74. We can address this maroon crew issue. Like our rate, we should still keep a really high rate. We still have the 13 guys for it looks like about 40 hours in August. So we may end up in the same place, but we might crush our rate because we're aiming for $11 even lower in August. So if we can keep the rate in the ballpark it is, we should make up for the hours, which we're assuming now are probably a high goal, right?
Yep.
So we have, we got the seeding coming up. People are going to start calling in September for all sorts of different plantings and yada yada. October is usually a little low, and it says in the hours, just kind of like a weird time of year between like you can't really seed any towards the end of October. I can't really seed anymore, but cleanups haven't started yet. It's kind of a funky time of the year. And then November, December, we pick up cleanups, which we obviously always do really well on.
October is slow time for production, but a big time for estimates and people planning for cleanups. So prepping for November, December.
Yep. So we did lose a little bit of ground here as I went through this the other day. So if I look at previous week we were 9% behind on where we should be at in overhead recovery. So if I put 43 and 52 here. 9.2%, 43 and 52. Previous week, 43. These must be fractions, 52. Okay. So all right. So I guess we're 9% behind on the overhead. So all right, we did make a little bit of progress according to this. Why is these are both the same number? Okay, these are fractions. That's why it's not rounding it. It's rounding it. Say 42.8%. So that's why these numbers aren't exactly the same. And this is straight 43, right? So anyway, yeah, kind of stay in there. We want to be catching up, obviously, because this is our profit right here. I mean, we're aiming for 10%, right? So if we don't catch up, then we're at 0. So we need that to get closer.
Sure.
Win rate dropped a little bit on estimates. Slow time of the year, right? But I think we're getting past that. We should be getting past that hump, pretty soon with the seating and everything. Like people are going to start looking for work again. I think right now, honestly, I was thinking we're not doing Facebook ads this year, but I feel like busy times of the year when people are actively looking, probably the best strategies are like AdWords because people are searching for landscapers, right? They want to hire someone. Whereas slower times of the year, it's probably a better strategy to do kind of broadcasting ads because then it's like no one's really looking, right? So you can kind of show your name and make people think about it and request it when they otherwise aren't actively thinking about it, Like people are just going to the beach, kids are out of school, they're not really thinking about landscaping, but if they see an ad pop up, they might be interested. So that kind of broader reach stuff probably works more effectively when people aren't looking. You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds to me like you would suggest turning off paid ads now, do a billboard, yard signs, send emails, knock on doors, upsell.
I think that stuff would be more effective. We don't have anyone for Facebook right now, and I think generally speaking, it's a better strategy. I just don't know if I want to focus energy on that right now.
Oh, you're saying just specifically Facebook ads?
No. I'm saying all those things you just mentioned, the broad reach stuff.
Yeah.
When people aren't looking, they're not actively looking or thinking about it. When they are, then AdWords is great because people are searching. They're trying to find someone deliberately, and it's awesome. But when people aren't looking, no one's in Google. I mean, very much less people are in Google right now, searching, trying to actively find someone to seed their yard or to clean up their leaves. That people who maybe are just not doing anything and might just see an ad and decide to get it done. Just by.
So you're suggesting it's not worth running ads right now?
I mean, historically, I've paused AdWords in the summertime, this time of year, because it's not as effective. You saw the cost per lead here. If we were to look at a bigger scale, so it's $40 per lead. If we look like in May and June, let's see, I'm curious anyway. See 27. See, so it's not as effective this time of year because people are searching. They're kind of window shopping. They're not really serious about it.
Makes perfect sense.
That's why. Yeah, makes sense, right? So it's less effective this time of year, although it's still better than not having it run, but it's less value running it now.
So is that value worth it? Can we save the money, turn it off for a month, and crank it on? When
we
time's
can see
right.
What happens, but aren't we kind of low on work, or are we good on work? Because if we're low on work, we might need to pay the premium to get the work in.
I guess that's $1 million question. Yeah, so we could use work. So in that case, I would say
let's just leave it running. It's a small budget. It's not a lot of money. If we need the work, let's just leave it running.
I mean, this time of year we always run low, so we should just know that historically. But like in the spring, I didn't need to send emails, or maybe we didn't need to run as many ads because we were just flooded with leads. But yeah, certainly, like if I have too much work, I would say turn the ads off. But no.
Yeah, I think we turned them on later this year too, didn't we? Because we made the mistake of turning them on last year when we don't need the leads, right? And then this year we waited to turn them on until we actually needed the leads. So
yeah, late March, like third week, I was like, all right, let's crank them on because I just didn't feel like we had enough cleanup leads coming in, and then we got flooded.
Yep. So the breakdown of the rates. So this charge rate's here, right? No one's hitting 81. And I figured out what that was, and that email is saying drive time is much higher. It's 15 hours. It's double what it was last year. So this is based on tighter routes, less driving. So no one's going to hit this because that's what our plan was. But our routes aren't that dense anymore. So our rates are going down because we're spending less billable time, right? So these aren't really, and I'm trying to get these more realistic. Or use a card for it. So, but so all we can do at this point is kind of compare them and look at the budget versus actual. So but even green here, they're just hitting budget hours. Like I said, I think these guys should be exceeding budget hours, and I don't know if they should really be bonus because essentially hitting is exceeding because they're averaging.
They're not meeting expectations. They're just meeting, and there's a difference there.
Right, and also they're not really meeting on this sheet in terms of what our plan is, but in reality, things shouldn't take as long. So really, if they're meeting expectations, they're going over because we're averaging all the time from the spring where things take a really long time, and this time things take a lot less time. So they should not be meeting. They should always be exceeding, be bonus. Because if they're meeting, they're really exceeding. They're exceeding expectations, really.
I'm not sure why Randy would come in at exactly 75 hours. It just seems like it's, I don't know, kind of odd that he got 70. It's like gardening, right? Kevin always comes in at budget because of he's hourly. But
this isn't usually the case. It might have been coincidence this week.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing you have to consider. Did Randy get any complaints last week? No. Does he do better work? He's cut my grass the last 2 weeks. There's a vast difference between the work Randy does and the work the other guys do. I can tell. I'm on grass.
And that should be exposed in the complaints too. So, and just looking alone at this on billable time too, historically we're around 38%. So it's gone up, and this should go down a little bit with the gassing and stuff. So they're gonna have less on billable time. There's just less. They're just going straight to work, which is great. And also, we both know that as efficient as you try and make this, there's still the timing's off. The guy shows up later, but the guys there's waste there. There's hidden waste that's happening with them fueling those trucks because now they should still get in and go. And the guys probably like it too. They probably don't like going to the gas station unless that's when they get their morning coffee or whatever. But all right, so Blue beat the budget hours. They're at 73. These rates are definitely going up. Blue Crew. Yeah, I mean, actually, these guys have been pretty consistent. They had a bad week. So they're hitting about, their average is 56. That's because we have a bunch of zeros in here.
Uh-huh.
Average is 84. 84. Oh, well, they have spring cleanouts mixed in here too. We're doing really well. Well, anyway, Blue Crew. Who's the Blue Crew? Is that a Hispanic crew?
It is.
Yeah, well, that explains it.
Mm-hmm.
Green Crew. Green Crew's average rate has been let's see, 74. At 65, but we do have the cleanups mixed in here too. That explains the spring rates up there. But they've been tracking. Actually, yeah, Green Crew, yeah, they are dropping a little bit, which you'd think that from what's the date here? They're $10 an hour down from the end of June. Stuff was growing faster around June. And they have that new truck that's more efficient too. So you'd think that their rate would be going up. I don't know what's going on there. And Maroon Crew, yeah, like look, this past month here,
They were really low at one point.
yeah. Well, we figured out this, but comparing apples to apples, these guys are exceeding, met, way above. 61 an hour, 65.73. Guys beat budget hours. The routes are probably slightly different too, in terms of the rates and where they're driving. Orange Crew, I think this is higher than normal. There was only one small Allen siege charge. We're probably reaping the benefits of some FERT purchases earlier, right?
Still gets a high rate.
Beating the budget hours. Purple Crew just beat budget hours. Not a lot of work there. Red Crew. 74. I feel like that's lower. You're probably, even if you're not meaning to, you're probably bidding things a little bit tighter to try to win some work, right? I assume. So, I mean, even if you're not deliberately lowering rates, you're probably subconsciously like, ooh, well, maybe they could get it done in 7 hours instead of 8, just because you're trying to win some jobs,
Totally.
Yeah, like you're bending things because you're just trying to adjust the price subconsciously too. Yeah, Red Crew. They're usually doing like double the revenue of everyone else, and now they're doing just a little bit more.
Yeah, usually they're like 8, 9.
Yep. So these guys actually dragged us down this week. Red Crew, which is not usually the case. I mean, our average was 76, and they hit 74.
Got it.
Silver Crew up to 72. That's one of those higher rates, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's good. And then I don't know what this is. It's only $500, so I'm not really worried about it.
Fine.
Oh wait, before I switch from here. So Arij added some notes in here just based on our discussion last week. She was kind of being proactive about it. She was letting us know that Kevin's getting a commercial rate, which is one of our lower rates, like 5 to 6 hours last week. So that would explain why a lower charge rate. Sorry, this isn't Silver. Oh, this is Kevin. Chris and Kevin.
Red Crew took that one over, but sure, it's probably been impacting that crew or whoever's doing it for a while, which is why we took it off mowing crews.
Why does it say Chris and Kevin listed under next to Maroon Crew? Chris and Kevin are on Maroon Crew? No.
It says Chris Curvin.
Oh, Chris Curvin. Okay.
That's the client.
Oh, that's the client. Okay. And Maroon Crew is doing that client.
Yeah, I don't know if they were doing it every week, but yeah, as far as I knew, they were doing it for a while.
Got it. Okay. 5 to 6 hours. So that's a lower rate. That's going to be one of the reasons why their rate's lower.
That makes sense. So I took it off of mowing crews and I gave it to Red Crew. So now it, if anything, it's there. It's on Red Crew.
Yeah.
With project.
Then pit managers every Wednesday. So this is unbillable time too. But that would be in their. I asked her about this. This would be in their she would have given budget hours for that, for the unbillable time, but it would reflect in the rate because we're not getting paid for it. But the budget hours it would be addressed in.
Yeah.
So that would explain the discrepancy why if they beat budget hours, why the rate was lower is due to things like this, lower charge rates and unbillable time added in there.
Yeah.
So Let's see on this waste log. She forgets to fill us out a lot of times. Let's see. She filled it out. Okay. Okay, here's another person that, okay, they got a skip warning. Okay. We give customers a little bit of leniency there, but when we drive the jobs and we don't get paid for it and it's not our fault, that costs us money, right?
Sure, none.
The other thing too is like the mow times. If that's what Necky's, well, it sounds like their mow times are right because they're not clocking into the job until they're actually starting it, right? So it's not going to affect our audits at the end of the year because they are clocking properly into when they actually start cutting the grass, right? They're just sitting in the truck before and after, so that's not going to affect that.
I don't know if I understand that, but
so when we run the audit at the end of the year, we look at the time clocked into each client's mow, like 30 mows or 40 mows in the year, and we look at what time they started and ended it. If they were messing around with those times and clocking in after they already started and deliberately trying to beat budget hours by shortening their clock in time, that would affect our data on that client's account and how long it took.
exactly.
But from what you described, it sounds like they're clocking properly into how long they're actually cutting the grass, yet they're sitting in the truck.
Yeah, they're missing the stop, getting there.
Or they're clocking in. Wouldn't it do the same thing if they're clocking in late to these jobs? So you're saying they're sitting in the truck, but if they were to
pulling up at 8:15, they're not clocking in until 8:19.
Yeah, bro, they could be actually mowing at that time, but just not clocking in until 4 minutes later because the truck is there. All we can see is the truck is there, but they can clock in whenever they want, right? So we know, but really I think they're actually going over budget on the mows and they're trying to manipulate the system because they could be sitting in the truck and then clocking in when they start the job.
It's very possible.
Out, they stop. What's that?
It's very possible.
Yeah, so there's there's two things that could be happening with what you showed me. One could be is that they're sitting in the truck, then they're starting the job, and then they're completing the job and they sit in the truck again. That's one thing they might be doing. The other thing they might be doing is showing up, starting to cut right away, but then they wait like 5 minutes and then they clock in, and then before they're finished, they clock out, and then they finish cutting the lawn, and then they get in the truck and leave. So it could be, which maybe that's the case. That they're trying to, the whole reason of this budget hours to include the unbillable is because we don't want them to manipulate their times that way.
That's right.
Because it's actually, they might actually just be slow. So they might not actually be being dishonest. They might actually just being really slow to cut, and they know that. So they're clocking the job late to meet the budget hours in the app. So if it says they have an hour.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to accuse them initially of, because I told Anthony, I said it may be unintentional that they're trying to manipulate their time, which may be the case. So yeah, I think you're spot on. One of two things.
I do think Necky. I mean, yes, they could be sitting in the truck, but I personally just no basis behind it except for Necky's character is what I'm basing on. I think more likely they're having trouble performing and meeting budget hours because they're slow and or unskilled. And they're trying to make it look like they're getting them done on time by clocking in late and clocking out early, when really they're working the whole time. They're just slow. So, like I said, either reason though, they're not performing, whether they're being dishonest or they're just incompetent. And I feel like it's more likely they're incompetent and they're trying to cut their budget hours in the jobs and look like they're getting them done on time.
Yes, agreed.
Got it. So in that case, it is skewing our data. Yeah. Because really these jobs take longer. Now when we go to audit these clients, it's going to say it took them on average an hour to do this lawn for each visit. But in reality, it took them 1.2 hours. So now we're going to price that client based on it taking an hour. But it should be taking an hour anyway, right? So
they're really messing things up either way.
Either way, they're messing things up. It's messing up our data. But I do think it's probably because they're incompetent and getting it done faster just because they're slow. They're either unskilled or they're slow. Either way, but again, doesn't matter either way. They're not hitting the numbers, right?
Right.
But it is different in terms of you get rid of someone if they're incompetent and not hitting their numbers based on skill set versus just deliberately wasting company time and getting paid for it.
Exactly.
That is different.
Yep.
All right. So I'm guessing. So if they start clocking in properly, but that would be corrected by what you said by Arish or Lewis, making sure the GPS arrives, they're punching in, they're out. Then it would reveal that they're just going over budget on all their mows in reality. Okay. So they got some rain. Maroon Crew also started raining with thunder and lightning. So they got some rain. Okay, so another company's cutting it. So these people just kind of had another company cut their lawn. So, I mean, these things kind of look like we're getting the shit end of the stick here because we're showing up not cutting because these people just wanted to skip once we showed up, and here they're
We called
here
that
they're
client. We called that
shirts
client.
allowed.
The client said I didn't hire anybody else to mow my lawn. So
Okay.
it looks like somebody else
Another company
did the wrong lawn.
cutting the wrong lawn, right?
Yes.
Got it.
So Ann said you got a free mow that week.
Yeah, I guess we got to eat it on that one. Gate was locked, back door.
That's my sister-in-law.
Okay.
We'll let it slide.
Okay. But just people like, as long as we give them a warning, how can they write a bad review? You know, we're here trying to protect it. Like, we're following our own policies. We're trying to prevent people from getting pissed about it. How pissed can a rational person be if we tell them twice, like, hey, you got to let us know. We can't just show up, cost us money. And then it's in our policy and we don't charge them twice. And the third time, like, all right, you got to start paying for this.
Yep.
You know, how mad can they be about that? And then we could always write in response to a bad review that, hey, look, we warned you twice. It's in our policy. We charge you the third time, you know?
For sure. Yep.
This looks like a callback. Pool's not in truck, Kevin. This is the ladder. So these are things we want to. At the end of the year, we'll go through this list and we'll find things that are correctable. You know, rain we can't fix. Some of these things we can't address, but we want to see what we can fix with policies, what we can fix with inventory. Where this is a waste log, things that are preventable.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say this is wasted time. Stump grinder.
No.
That's pretty.
I think we built
We
for it.
lost the gas cap. Okay. It looks like we're just putting stuff in red that is billable to the crew's budget hours. Like he lost the gas cap. Okay. Like you're not. That goes against your hours, not ours. All right. So the big picture. I wasn't happy to see this. Like I said, I'm trying to track this and I want to go through all of our expenses, but yeah, we jumped up. You know, we jumped up quite a bit. If we look at the graph here, we normally jump up in debt after the first of the month. See, here's the first of the month, and we go back up. We go up. We went up a lot, and then we went up again. So it should be going down. So I looked quickly, but I'd like to dig further. We had a big. Let's go through our expenses here, because I felt it too. Because well, first of all, we lost some RBS clients, right? So that revenue has dropped off. And then there were some big charges there was an insurance one for like $4,000. We bought, give me a second here. Oh, this Ring Central makes the computer run so slow.
I'm gonna hop on a call with the Reach at 10:30, but can I shoot off at 10:25?
Yeah, we'll be done by then. It shouldn't. This is the last thing I wanted to go through.
Guys.
So if we look at, I think we should look back the past so we get an understanding. I think it's a cash flow thing going on here, like just timing of expenses. Oh, another thing is we had like a big sod charge, which we're going to see the revenue from this next week. So we paid for the sod, so that jacked up our debt, but I think we're going to get paid back for it next week.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, looks like we got a charge back today. So the checking account. So yeah, here's a $5,000 insurance payment. Oh, and we paid for the decals and we double paid for the decals, right? We got like $7,000 of decals for the truck.
Why is that?
So they sent out an estimate for the box truck, and we said we're gonna hold off on that, right? And then they sent off an estimate for the truck we actually got done, and then they charged for both. So they're refunding us for the other one. But I mean, that was like $7,000 charge for the decals, both of them together. So that's $7,000 we spent last week. We jacked up our debt by $7,000. Then we got $5,000 insurance payment. That's just a timing. I'm pretty sure I'd have to look at the budget, but I'm pretty sure the insurance payments, they're not regular. They're not evenly split. Like they're more heavy in the beginning of the year and then they drop off. I don't know why. It's like seems like random billing. I don't really understand it. Strange. But we obviously got a heavy one this month. We don't have it listed on our things we monitor on a weekly basis. Where is it? We only have our accounts that we can control because we can't control insurance. So I can't see the breakdown. Here we have the breakdown by month, but we don't have the breakdown by month for the stuff that we can't control. But just based off of the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that the insurance, I know it's irregular, and I think a lot of it comes like it's heavier in the beginning of the year, first half of the year. But they're very irregular payments. So with $5 grand from that, $7 grand, there's 12 grand from right there between the decals and this, and we also had the side charge, which we'll look at in a second. Deposits, payroll, our payroll. Oh, so another thing that we're doing now, so I was going to wait till the winter, but I really want to do it now, and I think I touched on this, but it's going to make things a lot more clear. Rather than doing stuff through RBS and RBS billing 855, we now have like separate, we're not paying the Upwork fees first of all, so we're saving and Arija's saving. We're just directly paying her. We're not using the Upwork platform. So let's drop a note here, screenshots, because they're supposed to be getting the screenshots through Clockify.
Right.
So she has that turned on. I don't want to look at it and have it not there when we need to look at it. So, but anyway, we're paying directly from the account, so the balances and the accounts and everything's going to be more reflective. It's not going to be like billing afterwards for RBS billing 855 and all this craziness.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that the RBS is now billing 855 for is your and my payroll, which what I want to do this winter and with your buy-in and everything, we're going to have to adjust our payrolls anyway. So I think we should do is just do commission draws only from RBS, and then we'll get our payroll from 855. And it'll come directly out of 855's payroll rather than coming out of RBS's and then RBS billing for it. It's sloppy and confusing all the way through. So it'd be much cleaner to have stuff come directly from the accounts that they're for, you know.
Okay.
Got some payments deposits. So we're going back to July 15th here. We need to keep going. Gusto, taxes, payroll. There's the VA pay. That's Upwork stuff. Deposits. Back to July 8th. Yeah, so I mean, oh, here's another Arbella for $1,500. The insurance. Insurance is so freaking expensive. Gardeners. Yeah, so just an overview. Back to this real quick. So I paid off. So our check. This is of last week. Now we have like $1 grand in it. This is still kind of what I've put into the company for this year, like 37, which I hope I get back because that is a big chunk of my payroll for last year. The credit card balance is up, and we don't have a lot in the account at the moment. And then the RBS account also dropped down. Customer deposits remained about the same. So a lot of it came from, you can see 855 credit card balance. It was 10 grand that increased from previous week. Mm-hmm. And then like these are basically unchanged, right? For the most part. We got 10 grand of credit card charges, which we're going to look into. We got some customer deposits, but it went up overall, the difference between the deposits that we received and the deposits that's in the account. So we use some of that deposit money essentially. So we're like borrowing from our customers. We're not holding the money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This remained about the same. This remained about the same. So it's really the credit card that really went up a lot. Charters, that's rent. Yeah. So I mean, we're back now to like beginning of July. Nothing crazy except for that big Arbella in here.
Well, we should probably talk solutions.
Yeah, I mean it's cash flow for that. We got to pay insurance. We can't control that, but we have to look at things we can control. 855.
Can we schedule a call this week to like get a bit more granular on it? Come up with a plan.
On insurance or on everything?
No, I mean things we can control. Like we need more work, right? That would help. Let's get more hours.
Yeah.
So let's just come up with a plan for that. And talk about cutting expenses if we can. Talk about RBS. I don't think we devote enough time to that. Maybe add an hour to our calls on Fridays so we can talk about RBS.
Yeah, we can do that.
Just
one thing I've been thinking about too, especially with RBS revenues going down, and with Nazish not exactly doing everything great, we could back off some expenses there. I think it kind of that email that came in too. It is about everything. Even it's every touch point. You know, like even though we don't think postcards do anything, like we're still sending out postcards for SendGem for RBS, which isn't a lot, but we also don't have a lot of revenue coming in either. But I did notice some people reached out around there. Like it's all the touch points, you know, the billboard, the emails. Like I think it's the big cumulative picture that came from that guy Jeffrey Scott, that consultancy email, just reminding that like everything. It's a combination of everything that really works, not just one thing. It's not usually just one thing. You know, like people in AdWords, yeah, we can say we're getting all our leads from AdWords, but a lot of these people probably saw our name otherwise, and we're like a household name. People recognize it, and they're more likely to hire us anyway. Like, so it's not just one thing or another. It's kind of the combination of all the efforts.
Sure. Yeah, I think in RBS case, it's a different kind of beast, you know?
Yeah.
We cover a lot more ground with RI lawns. We get a lot more coverage through trucks and yard signs. It's tougher to grow that one.
We've been very heavy on the shop stuff. We're also been monitoring that really closely. There's a lot of stuff to be fixed. There's always charges for the shop, but you know, I've been highlighting the things. I look through this anyway. You know, like the shovels and little things like that. They do all add up, and like that. I talked about some pump or something, a tire pump, and things that catch my attention. But if they're just parts for a machine, I mean, that has to be spent. Here's the Sodco I was talking about. It just happened, so this is part of it too. That we just paid Sodco for a job that we're going to get paid for next week, presumably. That's part of it. But let's go back one more.
No, we can probably bill for it tomorrow. No, we'll bill for it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For like, it's not our debt went up because we paid for the sod, but we didn't get paid back for the sod. So I'm saying it's part of the reason why it climbed. AAA, we're taking off Noah, Bounty, SendGem. This is going to be, you know, gift cards. We're not doing a lot of SendGem for 855. This is super cool. Arish found this service, the notarization for the driver's form. It's like this online thing. It's like just for two things. It's so easy. Man, it was such a good service. Notarize.com.
Yep.
Gas. Supplies. Pizza. Nothing crazy in there. Randy, the rentals, we talked about that. We're getting rid of this charge. I've been really on top of a lot of this little stuff. This is something we don't need to pay for.
What is it? Is that Ionos?
It's an email from Melissa. I don't feel getting the details on it, but we don't need to be paying for this, so I'm on Arish about it.
Cool.
And then when I caught those big round turnpikes, I jumped on that. This is these guys, like, we're not billing me for anything. This is and I was like, charge me something because they're just doing this work for free. But this is getting all the leads going from Rosie into SA.
What is it?
And they also increased our website speed dramatically. It's just this, like, I found them on Facebook, and they were referred. I saw comments. I reached out to the guy to get the connection made between Service Autopilot and Zapier, because it's not really designed to work through Zapier, but there's, you know, he set it up for us. But they were doing all this work, and they also worked on the website with them and got I sent you the email. I got our speed from like a C to a B from like one simple change. YouTube videos. These guys were like provided a ton of value, and I kept being like, "Hey, when are you gonna bill me? When are you gonna bill me? When are you gonna bill me?" Because I didn't want to. I don't expect their time for free. And anyway, they provide a lot of value for that money.
How much was it? It's tough to say.
$360.
Oh, that's not bad. All right.
No, very, very. I just want to pay him something. Hiltz, the dumpsters. I know we turned that up a little bit. AT&T, Jonathan's AdWords and website stuff. Seed. We got this knocked down permanently from 900 to 700. I haven't addressed that in like 2 years. So, the service that.
Good. Great.
Yeah, like I said, I've been trying to optimize this time of the year, right? Cut costs, get things more efficient. Mulch. Yep. Oh, we're going back to June now, but that's okay. Noah. Yeah, so we should go through, maybe on another call, we can go through Amazon and Home Depot and just review Noah's charges. But he's pretty, whenever I check, he's pretty on top of it. And he
always says he's super conservative with the budget. I always felt like he was a bit spend happy, but maybe it was just things that he needed and we needed. I don't know, but he always reiterates that he was conservative.
I think he was, and like I do look through it, not regularly, which I probably should, but I look through it occasionally, and I flag the stuff that catches my attention and I ask about.
You have, yeah.
So, but most stuff, like Permagreen, like Tractor Supply, like we don't have the details from what was purchased here. You probably have a receipt somewhere. But the stuff we can see, like Amazon, Home Depot, we can see. I mean, parts tree, it's parts for machines, you know. Box shop is keys. Rock Auto, I don't know. Advanced Auto Parts, parts for trucks. Like, it's pretty pretty reasonable stuff. Oh, the $1,000 deductible for I don't know what truck that was for, but that's part insurance deductible. Sodco. So yeah, anyway, I think that I expect. I mean, if this is still going up, it's definitely concerning. I think that this is because we're back. If you look back to last time we were there, was back same time in June, a month ago. So basically reset to a month back in terms of our overall debt here, which isn't fun to see. And like I said, $7,000 of decals. Was it $7,000 of decals? Then we had the $5,000 of insurance, and then we had so that's $13,000, right? It's $12,000, and then we had that sod, which is like another $2,000, and we're up 14. So that's kind of the difference there, from what I can see. And we know we've been short on our margin a couple grand each week this month too, so that kind of explains all that. But definitely something we want to keep tabs on, because our plan here right now pushed out our trajectory here. It's pushing out to like mid-September-ish. So anyway, we'll keep tabs, but I'd say this is like big picture. We're looking at we go through all the granular stuff, but this is like maybe this is what we should actually look at first each call, because this is like big picture, where do we land, and then we get into the nitty gritty of like why are we here? You know, between the expenses and the charge rates and the hours and all that explains why we're here. So anyway, yeah, so we'll keep this going down. Hopefully, that's the plan. And we have been consistent. We started out at 92. We've definitely gone down. But we definitely want to. I would like to get paid back. That would be nice, and it'd be nice to make some money too, right?
I think we should devise a plan, set a goal to get you paid first, and obviously start profiting. Okay, let's talk about that more. I can do a Wednesday maybe.
A little way too. Like I know. You know, we did take out a couple grand. You know, back in here somewhere. Not much. It was like $5,000 or something we took out. But really, yeah. I mean, we should get. I mean, I should get back to zero before we start drawing money.
I agree.
And there is, you know, don't forget it. It's probably not crazy substantial, but it does add up. Being able to put your fuel through, you no longer have to pay your insurance on your vehicle. You don't have to pay repairs on your vehicle. You're getting some meals and stuff out of it. So there is some stuff in here that's, you know, basically your personal costs went down, right?
I get the whole big picture. Here's how I look at it, and we don't have to spend much time on it. But it's like, you know, it's like a busy restaurant on a Friday night every day for 3 months. And you just feel like this, you know, you get zero break. You devote your life to something. You should get like a little something for your effort. So that's just my thinking. You know, more importantly to me is paying you back first. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. And I get it too. I completely understand, because I'd love to be taking chunks of money out too, right?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Like I got, you know, a personal thing on my end, but like I bought that Saratoga property, so I kind of drained all my savings. It'd be nice to get some savings back. But my payroll, I'm just kind of paying the bills, you know.
I understand.
So it'd be nice. I mean, I definitely don't want to. I want to get paid for my work last year too, you know, like for my time too.
That comes first.
So yeah, so we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. But yeah, I think. But again, like financial stuff aside, like we're in a good place, right? And financial stuff is super, super important. But I think it all when you get everything else right, then the financial stuff falls into place, right? When you get everything else right.
That's right.
So, and I think you're right, though. You know, I was thinking about it, and you were like, oh, man, like the money we make this year, we're going to have to put in the account for next year. But it's kind of like you have 1 year you go backwards, then it takes 2 years to go forwards, unfortunately. Because like you said, you got to start. I mean, we'll take some money out, but we're going to have to, unless we want to end up in the same position next, always playing catch up, we're going to want to leave some money, too, so we can make more profit next year. We can have put more cash to show for it next year in our pockets if we just leave some money in the account, you know? So, unfortunately, we left money in the account last year, but then we burned through it all. And then we didn't have anything left over.
Yeah, so what's the secret to, like, running a profitable landscape business, man? How do people grow to 10 and 12 million like in Newcastle? What are they doing? Well, they're doing projects, right? Patios, fireplaces, fire pits, the whole 9 yards. Big projects, $20,000, $30,000. Yeah, you know, I'd like to know how much they're profiting, man. Like, what are we doing? Is this just an unideal business that we're just expending a bunch of energy for? Of course, I guess the ultimate goal is to sell it, right, and put some money in our pockets. But like, what's it going to be like until then?
Yeah.
Is there a plan to like actually draw a nice profit and not have to worry? Is it possible?
Yeah. I mean, we're asking for, we asked for 10%. We'll probably get around 10%. If we ask for 20%, we'll probably get around 20%.
Okay.
I think.
Well, that makes sense.
I think we need to ask for more. I think that if everyone's price went up 10 more percent, that's night and day for us. It doubles what we get out of the business if we get 10%. But for them, it's only 10% more. So they pay, $121 an hour instead of $110 an hour. It's not a big, it's a smaller difference to the customer, a huge difference to us. Once you're at break even, it's just money on top. So I think, if we can keep as much as we can, keeping stuff flowing through the winter time and not going negative. That's the whole challenge in the winter, is just not going negative. And just keeping things efficient and tight and charging the right rates that we need to make it worthwhile,
All right. So we can continue to do the business we're doing. We don't have to change our service offerings. I think we keep selling high value work, right? High value work, low overhead projects and for mosquito and tick gardening. And charge more. So your plan is to maybe send an email and raise everybody's price 10% next year? I mean, I'd be okay with that.
We'll talk about it in the winter time, but yeah, I think that's what we should do. I think we should ask for more, and I think we'll get more out of it. And I don't even think it has to be crazy. I think that what we did wrong this year is we didn't cross-check competitors' pricing, and we just went off your gut what people would and wouldn't pay. But you're always surprised, like when we raise people's prices, like no one cancels. Like very few people ever cancel. If we'd raised it 20%, maybe a few more people would cancel, but it would far be made up for the extra revenue we're getting from everyone else.
That's right. We're doing less work at a higher rate.
Whole thing, I look at the business just as an investment, right? Like it's a high risk thing. It's very hard to keep together. It's a lot of work.
Super high risk.
If you just go sit on your ass passively, you're going to make 7% in the stock market with like much less risk. If we're running something like this, it's a high risk thing. It should be higher reward. Just like banks make loans based on that stuff. Unsecured loan where they just give you money and they have no idea what you're spending on whatever, on like drugs or on partying or whatever. Like they don't know what's going. It's high risk. It's very high risk for them. They don't know if they're getting the money back. Whereas when it's secured by like a house or an asset with a truck, the rates are lower because they're like, well, if they go and buy this truck and they don't pay their bills and it depreciates, we're still going to get, we still own the asset and we can get it back. So there's less risk, so they'll take lower interest rates. So like the business, it's higher risk. It deserves a higher reward, right? It's high risk. Like we could do anything else with this money. This money we're dumping into these vehicles, and
that's my point. Exactly. Right. All this effort for a very small reward. I know the ultimate goal is to put all eggs in one bigger basket, right? RBS. A lot less work, overhead, so many less headaches, so much more manageable. So yeah, man, I'm all for that, dude. That sounds like a great plan for the winter. I've been trying to like be competitive, but I think we've established ourselves to a point where now we can charge that, man. Our existing clients don't want to look for somebody for a lousy $20 per week.
And we can do it I think the way to do it in batches, if we're going to do a jump like that and we're going to ask for 20%, we'll do like a fifth of our client base. We'll send out the 20% raise and see what type of cancellations we get.
The least liked clients.
Maybe we adjust it. What's that?
The least liked clients.
Yeah. Or whatever. Just do a batch, just a general batch, because we want to represent our entire customer base. So we do a random batch, raise it 20%. And we could always go back and be like, oh, we try to salvage some of that if it's disastrous, but I don't think it would be. And then, the people that, and then if that way we're not doing our entire customer base all at once, and then it was a bad decision, right? We just do a batch, see how that goes. If it goes well, then do everyone else. We lose 10% of the customers, okay, great. Then let's raise everyone else and we lose 10%. Or if we lose 50%, well, maybe let's not raise everyone else that much.
Beautiful idea. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because it has to be worth it. Otherwise, let's just go, we have to make it worth it to us. Otherwise, let's go
do something else, man.
Put our money somewhere else. There's a better return, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to hop on with the read. Right, cool. We're good for now?
Yep. Sounds good. Sorry, I forgot we wanted before 10:30.
Right. We're good. All right. What's the yeah, you got it.